Yes, y'all. Welcome in to episode 83, the Louis Lips episode of the Dumb podcast. Shout out for all you old heads that know exactly what I'm talking about. Pittsburgh Steeler wide receiver from back in the day. That was my very first athlete I met in person was Louis Lips. Light up night, Christmas in the old Kaufman's building, stood in line and got his autograph. So
under the Kaufman's clock, huh?
Yep. But no, welcome in everybody. Episode 83 of the Dumb podcast, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch. Best four-man booth in the business. Back at it again. Gentlemen, how we living this morning? Everybody good?
Yep, everybody good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got a quick story for you guys on Sunday, Easter Day. Morning, Kenny. I went to Kennywood just to, scout out the place, first weekend open. So I decided to get on the Phantom, to burn time before I went and ate, because that's the only reason I want to go to Kennywood for is to eat. Got on the Phantom, rode the ride, tried to get off. My bar got stuck. I'm like, are you kidding me? Everybody else get off but me. So I'm trying pushing the bar. The guy coming on, young guy, bro, are you stuck? I was like, yes, I'm fucking stuck. Gosh, if I wasn't stuck, I'll be out and be gone. So they had to get supervisors over, other workers, and all that stuff to see what was happening with my bar. So finally, they wiggled it.
You broke the ride.
So they finally, they wiggled into that stuff, and the bar finally came loose. They said there was a something malfunction on it completely. So I'm just sitting there the whole time. I'm like, man, I'm here solo by myself, old guy, fat as hell, stuck on a ride. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that'll do a lot for your self-esteem.
So what did I do after I got off the ride? I went straight to the potato patch and ate.
Well played.
Just like a fat kid.
The dude that asked you if you're stuck, you remember the comedian Bill Engvall with the old "Here's your sign"? Like, dumbass. Yeah, you mopping the floor. No, there's a sign that says "wet floor" and I'm holding a mop. Yeah, I'm mopping the floor.
The ride malfunction. Yeah, Donald rode the ride.
Wanted
to punch dude in his face so bad. Are you stuck, bro? Like, man, don't speak to me in that Gen Z language.
It's funny. It's funny you bring that up with feeling like just a huge fat kid and you went and drowned your sorrows in potato patch French fries.
He said that's his fear, and he would just go home after that.
Yeah.
No, so, like you just said, Steve, you got to get some food after that. You got to comfort your soul a little bit.
Well, I got a story that can top Donald's. So, Geauga Lake, for those of you that don't remember, little amusement park out there in Ohio back in the day used to be Geauga Lake, and then SeaWorld was next to it, right? So this was at the time whenever SeaWorld was long gone, but they turned the SeaWorld side of the park into a water park, and it opened up the first year that it opened up with the water park. So me and three of my buddies, we take a ride out to Geauga Lake, and we're in the amusement park with the water park, having fun, good day, this and that. Well, towards the end of the night, we're walking out, about to leave, and the last ride was the old, I don't want to say it was called like the Tower of Doom or whatever, but it was, you sat 4 across and you went up in a big elevator shaft, and then it dropped you straight down. And as you came down, you like laid on your back until the brake stopped, and then it swung you back around to the start of the ride, right? So we get in it and didn't think nothing of it. We get up there on the ride, come down, and we're flying. And next thing you know, it was like bam, and just hard stop. And we're just sitting there, and time's going by, and we're like, what is going on? Finally, the dude comes up and he's like, you guys okay? And we're like, yeah, we're just like, what's going on? He goes, you guys blew through every set of brakes we had. The last emergency brake stopped you guys. And I'm like, well, that's good to know. Like, and he's like, we don't know what happened. And he's like, well, how much did each of yous weigh? So we go through the lineup. Dog, we were way over the limit by like 300, 350, right? Like the 4 of us should not have been on this ride together, right? So after that sinks in, like holy shit, emergency. The last set of emergency brakes stopped us, or we would have flown right into this little booth. Right? What did we do? Got off the ride, continued our walk of shame out of the park. But before we left, there was a Ben and Jerry's ice cream stand right there. All four of us stopped at the Ben and Jerry's, got the ice cream, and just walked out the park, eating our Ben and Jerry's, head down in shame. The ride never opened back up. Shut the ride down, never opened back up.
Shut it down.
That's an achievement.
Yes, it is.
So we were the last 4 individuals to ride that ride in Geauga Lake.
Shut the park down.
yeah, shut the park down. I don't think, a matter of fact, I think they may have opened for one more season after that, and then they closed it down completely. But yeah.
It's like the movie Heavyweights. Whenever Sims gets on the scale, and goes, very fat, I see.
Yeah, just like nothing made me feel worse as a human being than well, you guys are way over the weight limit. What's the weight limit? And then when he told us, it's like, yeah, I'm with dudes that are like 6'3" and 6'4". Like, yeah, we're not gonna.
And that's the day Steve started lifting weights.
No, that wasn't the day I started lifting weights.
I mean, that should be like how they should be some sort of training. Just like, all right, you can ride, but you two are going to wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we're
laughing
and joking about it, but I mean, we just saw a couple weeks ago that kid in the amusement park that passed away because he was, they let him on the ride that he shouldn't have been on. Based off of his height and weight, and it could have turned into a tragic event, and we're cracking jokes because of it, but not to take the seriousness away from it. But yeah, like that's a real thing. You got, if you're up there on the Richter scale, you better check and see before you get on a ride. Like
I do every time.
Yeah. So, all right. Real quick for me, and you guys won't understand this because you don't have kids. But my daughter, you got her first true like haircut to where she wanted a certain style and everything else. And like, I had me all in my dad feelings last night, just looking through old baby photos. Like I can't believe how fast she's grown up. So for those parents out there that know what I'm talking about, it was a very emotional night for myself. I was preparing myself all day to see her when she came home from getting her hair cut. But yeah, I was like, man, this is growing up way too fast. So
What'd she go with?
She went short. She got it all cut off. It looks very good on her. It's very, very good. She picked a good hairstyle. It looks really good on her, but just, that transformation, it's a huge
that next stage in life. Yep.
Growing up.
It's not your son. Your son, you're like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like, hey, nice fade. Yeah, no. My daughter, my baby, no. It was all up in the feelings last night, flipping through baby books. So yeah. All right. What else? We got anything else for the intro we want to get into here?
I got the gaming stuff, some entertainment stuff. Real quick, Sony and Microsoft, they want to put ads in video games now. No. So yeah, they want to put ads in all their free games. So the free to play games, they want to stick ads in there. They don't want to do it like how the cell phone games are, where it's like after you get done with a board, there's an ad coming up or something like that. It'll probably be like during racing games, they'll show like a billboard with an ad on it, something like that. If you're in Times Square, but they said hopefully if you're in Times Square, like in the game, like the ads and everything in Times Square, it'll be like that. So it's not going to be like right in the middle of like a team deathmatch. We got to cut this for 10 seconds. So they said just
before you kill that zombie.
Yeah. So
it'll pop up. It'll pop up whenever you respawn back in after you get killed.
So yeah. So they're
Steve,
looking into that
right?
now, huh?
Steve, you play FIFA, right?
Yeah.
Now, do they have their ads on there? Or is it just a generic jersey?
You know what?
I think it's generic.
Okay.
I haven't played the new one yet.
I played it, but I didn't pay attention to it. like that.
Yeah, I did.
Take a look.
Yeah, same thing. I wasn't looking to see if it was, the exact way. There was a big thing to do with Major League Baseball baseball.
Baseball, yeah.
with
Yeah,
ads?
the Padres got their ads on their jerseys.
Yeah.
Or Motorola. Yeah.
And the Penguins this week, the hockey with the UPM, I think it's the UPMC or
Highmark.
One of them. Yeah, Highmark.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people complaining about that, having the little pads, and it's like, you complain whenever they put the little numbers on the front of the helmet. Back however many years ago that was, and now you don't even notice the numbers on the front of the helmet. It's like it's going to blend in with the uniform. It's not going to.
It doesn't hurt.
Like I see the basketball so much now, I don't even pay attention.
As long as the team is winning, it don't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Also in entertainment, Streets of Rage, they're having a movie and it's in development right now. And the script was made by the John Wick creator, Derek Colston.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. I mean, it can't do any worse than the Double Dragon movie that came out.
So I was thinking, it's like I'm trying to think of a really good video game movie. Like there's been okay ones, but like a really good movie. It's just like
this has, but I mean, it has potential if it's done right.
Yeah.
I saw with sticking with video games, two things that I saw this week. One, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. They released first two stages of gameplay. The video came out. It was like 11 minutes long.
Looks good.
Looks amazing.
Looks good.
And they brought back all four of the voice actors from the original 80s cartoon for the characters. So shout out to those guys for still, up and breathing and walking around. Like kudos to y'all.
Nice old
payday. But it looks fantastic. I'm super pumped for that. And then did you see the NFL is getting into the virtual reality game?
Yes.
NFL Pro. They had the commercial or the teaser, I guess, with Lamar Jackson, and it showed it playing VR wise. Looks super dope.
So that was a game. I wasn't understanding when you sent it over. I was thinking I thought it was just like going to be like what they're going to see when they're playing like live football.
No, that's what you're going to see playing it.
Playing the game, okay.
Playing the game, yep.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah,
wow.
So I know the Oculus has something now that's like football wise, but it's nowhere near what this was. So, it's like that first player Madden camera, view whenever you first got that added to the game.
Yes, I remember that
years ago. But yeah, you're going to be in it and everything else. So I can't wait for the videos of parents, their kids making their dad try to play quarterback for the Steelers.
More broken TVs. That's all I see.
Yeah, but yeah. So those two were the two gaming things that I came across this week. My interest.
And I just had one entertainment thing. Ezra Miller, the guy who plays Flash in the DC universe, he got arrested for the second time this month.
Is he fighting everybody in Hawaii? Everybody in the state of in Hawaii.
He got arrested for second-degree assault. He was at a place and he was being irritable, and they asked him to leave. And reportedly, he threw a chair and it hit a 26-year-old female in the head, and she has a cut on her head now. So,
it's taking arrest in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so Warner Brothers called executive meeting to see if they want him to continue to be Flash or not. So that's
no problem.
Boot him off.
Yeah.
Get rid of him. I think he's done. Honestly, I don't see them bringing him back.
Yeah. Liability.
I saw Tyrese and Mark Wahlberg announced Four Brothers 2 will be coming out. I don't know if you guys watched that movie, Four Brothers. Back that was a great movie.
I liked it. Great movie.
When it came out, I watched it.
It's one of those ones that if it's a rainy TNT, morning, afternoon type day, and that's on, I'm stopping and just watching it whenever it's on. Like it's at that stage for me now.
I still love that he walked across Lake Michigan in the frozen Lake Michigan. Like wow.
Yeah. But that's all I had for. I think
here's one for you, Steve. Kenny says his boys are growing up so fast that one of them came to him saying that they like a girl.
Oh yeah, wait, yeah. Yo, kids these days, dog, they're having. Okay, pause.
Tell them to talk about wrestling, Kenny. Tell them to talk about wrestling.
I was debating on whether or not to bring this up. Okay, and luckily for me. In the relationship that I have with my daughter right now, she comes in and spills the tea to me, right? She lets me know what's going on in the school and on the buses and everything else, which I'm thankful for because she's at least talking to one of the parents, right? I don't care if it's me or my wife, at least you're talking and telling us what's going on, so we're in the know. Cool. So apparently, and not her grade, but younger, talking like fourth, fifth grade. The thing that they're doing now is they're having moaning contests.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they're filming it. People are voting on it, and I'm like, what is going on with
Are they trying to be like the dude on TikTok that just goes up behind people like at the stores and moans in their ear?
I have no idea. I don't have TikTok. I'm not in the know, so I don't know if this is a TikTok challenge that started, and now I got third graders, like Cinemax After Dark. I have no idea what's going on right now, but yo, it's crazy. Like I thought fourth grade, like. I was riding my bike playing baseball.
That's it.
Like, yeah, like I may have quote unquote had a girlfriend, but it was like,
you didn't know what to do with that girlfriend.
You went to Ardmore skating rink and had a couple skate. That's what you did. Like, right? Like it was not. But yeah, like apparently it's a full blown thing, and
yeah.
Like back then, you want to play Street Fighter 2?
Yes, I got RBI 94 on the sticks on the Genesis.
That's it. They want to play that, man.
If I have kids, you're watching Star Wars. You're being like the complete nerd. You're no,
but yeah, I can't believe it. Like
take him to Kennywood to feed him potato patch.
Craziness. All right. Anything else?
We're good.
I got some.
Oh, you tried
Mountain Dew.
Yo, cancel him, mute him, turn him off.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah, right.
It was $7.
What?
I didn't realize cases were that expensive. I usually get the deal like you get 3 for like a pack of, or 3 for like 12 or something like that.
It was 7 for a case of what?
That
case of 12, yeah.
12, okay. I thought, when you said $7 first, I thought you meant for that can.
That no.
As I say, inflation is way outrageous. They charge you $7 for a can.
That's a limited edition right there.
12 pack. I got to drink it, so it better taste good. It's Mountain Dew, but it's just like annoyingly hot at the end. There's like no flavor added or nothing. No. You expect cinnamon or something. Nah, it's just annoying.
Could have went to Get-Go or somewhere and probably just got like one bottle of it instead of buying a whole case.
I couldn't find a 20 ounce anywhere.
I haven't seen 20 ounces. I just seen it in the 12 packs. Like I don't even know if they're doing that. Like they're making people buy $7 worth of that crap.
After I bought, I have not. I'm looking for it.
I found it the other day. I tried both the regular Pepsi and the vanilla nitro. The vanilla nitro was better, but it just tasted like flat Pepsi.
So like Pepsi Clear. It tastes like Pepsi Clear.
Hey, don't disrespect Pepsi
Clear. I would have rather had Pepsi Clear.
And named it Pepsi Nitro Vanilla. That's what they did. That was terrible back in the day, Pepsi Clear. It's like water.
I remember people trying to pass it off as water in school. Yeah. Teachers were like, no.
And now adults try to pass off vodka.
Absolutely. No, yeah, it's Pepsi Clear. No, that is Belvedere. You have to throw that out.
You tried to, Kenny? Okay.
Yeah, nah. I'll stick away from the Baskin Robbins edition that pop companies are going through right now with coming up with flavors. We get into Flaming Hot.
I hate Flaming Hot. I didn't even want this. I just bought it because you want to kick everything over.
I did. I looked at that palette and I'm like, man, I
was like, I wish I found this earlier.
Yeah, it was one of those days and I had 0 F's left to give and nothing else going for me. I'm knocking this whole shit down.
You thought Iron Brew was going to be bad. I was waiting to
All right. Let's get into bell to bell because I got a bone to pick to start this segment off. So, all right, bell to bell this week. We'll get into the world of pro wrestling here very shortly, but I got a bone to pick with a certain individual on this show right now, and we've been doing this for a while now. Coming, it'll be 2 years in September. Shout out to us for working through stuff, creating content, getting out there, trying to build our brand. We're trying to build our brand. We're trying to get out there, let the people know who we are, what we do, try to entertain folks. Shits and giggles. That's all. Whether you find us entertaining or not, it's up to you. We're just going to put the content out there. But what I will say is somebody did something this week, and they went and met with a very famous individual that was in town this week for pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And whenever I got the image sent over to me, I looked at it, and I closed it, and then I opened it back up, and I looked at it again. Maybe I'm thinking like it's an old Polaroid. They're still waiting for stuff to develop, right? My man met Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Happy birthday.
For a photo op. Shout out for, taking some baby formula. They were doing charity work in the community around the Pittsburgh area, and you were able to drop formula off and couple baby formula off the families in need around the Pittsburgh area, and they had different wrestlers around, and you got a photo if you brought baby formula. No autographs, but you got to take a photo with the wrestler that was there. Very cool thing to do, right? Love giving back to the community any way we can. But I'm looking at this image, and he's basically wearing the same outfit now that he wore when he went and did the photo op on Wednesday.
No, I'm not wearing the hoodie.
Black hat, plain black hoodie, no brand.
Plain black.
Yeah, no branding at all. There's no dumb mark. There's nothing anywhere at all.
Win the business for himself.
Yeah. I'm like the logo on our hoodie is not going to make you look slimmer. It's not going to make you look fatter just because there's color on the hoodie. You went all black to look slim for the picture with Britt Baker, and you just forgot about, hey, I have a podcast. This would be a great opportunity to throw it out there to say, look, Dumb Marks taking a picture with the doctor. She could have pointed to the logo. Like, branding opportunity.
Shout out. Hometown podcast.
Like, what were you thinking? You bottom corner.
The original was I wasn't planning on going.
Hey Steve, I thought the same thing when I saw it. Like plain black. There's something missing. I'm like, if this was me,
yeah, there's nothing. At all. At all.
I can't go to a Pirate game without wearing a Dumb Mark shirt.
Yeah. I got the hat. Like anywhere I go, I have something that shows, hey, here's podcast, right? Like he still goes and meets the most famous Pittsburgh wrestler in the game right now. Ain't nothing.
I throw it up on social media. I throw it up at Dumb Marks Pod Instagram page. It's there. There's the branding. It's all good.
Terrible, man. Yeah, I've been stewing on this for days.
There's
nothing. I go pump gas and I got something on. Just in case. Like my man went specifically for the photo op. Last minute or not,
That was a free, but he bought that hoodie that day. That was fresh.
He took the hoodie off and had the fuzzies on his t-shirt underneath. That's how fresh that hoodie was. He had nothing.
That was my Kennywood outfit. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, nothing anywhere.
She could have given a shout out after her promo on Wednesday. She could have been like, into those dumb marks out there.
Just point to it. We could have went DMP and she could have went DMD. It would have been a beautiful thing.
You should have went. Talking about me, you dropped the ball too.
I was at the event Wednesday. I was promoting the show at the event Wednesday. I had on, not only did I have on the hoodie, I had on the hat and I had on a t-shirt in case I got hot. So I was covered. Somebody was going to see our logo while I was at the show on Wednesday.
And I was like 3 blocks up the street.
Yeah, Jay, that's even worse. You're the closest one to where they held the event at. You didn't even go.
Jason looked around and was like, I don't got formula.
All right. Now that I got that off my chest. I do.
So how was the show?
We'll see if we get this heated talking wrestling this week. All right, so where do you guys want to start?
Start AEW since you went.
We'll go with AEW. I did go Wednesday. Really good show live. I'm interested here because here you go. Went to the show live. It was really good night of pro wrestling. Crowd was hot. When I got home, I started looking through social media and seeing things, and I saw a lot of stuff about the production of the show, how it came across on TV, and everything else. So I have not watched it back yet, but for you guys that watched it on TV, what were your thoughts of the show overall, start to finish? The production, how things played off, going from segment to segment. How did you guys think it came off?
I felt like it didn't feel like anything different than a normal episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, it felt normal, completely normal.
The only part that I didn't enjoy was the main event.
Yes.
But other than that, I thought it was a good show. It was a solid show.
Kind of agree.
How did the crowd sound on TV?
Crowd sounded good, I thought.
Yeah, the crowd was into it.
I thought the crowd was really into the show the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
My TV's on like 5.
Yeah, it sounded like the crowd was definitely into it.
Yeah,
from beginning to end.
Punk came out, crowd got into it. I mean, even the stuff in the main event, even though like I wasn't into it, crowd seemed to really be into that, like with all the stuff going on.
So from start to finish, crowd was hot the whole night. Well, not Rampage wise, because there was some stuff there towards the end of Rampage, which wasn't deserved, but just sitting there in the audience listening to people shit on it, and it was kind of disheartening to hear talking about the main event between Jade and Marina. But for Dynamite itself, crowd was live all night long. A lot of good chants, a lot of back and forth. There weren't too many lulls. From being in the arena live, the only thing that we weren't able to hear and sometimes even see, depending on the feed in that, like the backstage interviews and stuff like that, you weren't able to hear what was being said. So like we missed the whole entire Red Dragon, Young Bucks, Adam Cole backstage. Could
you at least hear when Adam Cole talked about the Forbidden Door stuff?
No, that one we did hear.
Okay.
We were able to hear him. Couldn't, because of the way the sound was coming out in the arena, you weren't able to make everything out clear, but we did get the gist of them announcing the pay-per-view, right? And there was a couple other backstage stuff. Even later on with Rampage, when they did the Swerve and Keith Lee interview and Britt Baker with Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm, you couldn't make out what they were saying. So that was literally the only downfall of the night, was you couldn't hear the backstage promo stuff. I don't know if it was sound wise the way they had it set up, coming from back there through the feed into the arena or what. But other than that, man, it was a great night. Enjoyed the show. I would say it was as close to a sellout as you could get. and there were more fans there. I've been to every AEW show at the Pete, and this one was by far the most fans that they've had.
I took a look at the seat map on Wednesday. Yeah, and it looked like it. I think they even opened up more seats Wednesday. The day of the show.
They had a little slim section over by where the entranceway was. They even opened up 2 of those on each side. As many as they could before you weren't able to see because of how the stage was set up. So,
because I remember we went to the first one and it wasn't packed, and then even when we went last summer to Dynamite, it wasn't full. But Rampage had more people when we went that Friday. So Rampage was probably the closest that I saw, but that's good that they had more people this time. Yeah, maybe that means they'll come back or do something else here too.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good night of wrestling. Show was great. I thought the matches were good. Really lit, Punk and Dustin kicked off the show. Was very entertaining, very good pro wrestling match. But as we were leaving afterwards, I went with my cousin and we're talking, and they started Dark Elevation matches around 6:45. Rampage ended at about 11:30. So was it like a 4.5 hour window of wrestling? I almost forgot that Punk and Dustin even wrestled that night because of how much wrestling went on. But yeah, overall I have no complaints. Britt came out and closed the show down afterwards. After they went off air, and that Tony Khan came out. Thank the audience in that. We got to record stuff for the AEW video game. So the audience there in attendance got to record chants that will be in the Fight Forever video game. So shout out to this dumb Mark for going. I'm in an AEW video game now. Just myself. I'm not going to say that everybody else in attendance was, but just me.
My sister texted me that night and goes, what does Steve mean that he's in a video game?
Listen,
I don't know. That's all I got.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. So yeah, I'm in a video game. Me and the 10,000 other people that were in attendance that night. But I'm in a game. So yeah.
What'd they have you do?
So we did some chants awesome. For no, this is awesome chants. No, which I'm glad. Yeah.
Fight forever.
It wasn't Fight Forever either. No, it was we had we did a chant for FTR, one for Dax, one for Cash, an Aubrey Edwards chant. Who else? Kenny Omega, and it was I think one other wrestler. So it was 5 or 6 different chants that we got to run through and record. So that was super cool. But I think the big thing obviously was the announcement of the pay-per-view. We talked about it last week on the show. Speculation was that New Japan and AEW would do a joint show. After the announcement was made, Jay White came out, cut a good promo. We see some wrestlers calling each other out already, which is good. Fodder, Kenta already called out CM Punk. Ospreay put up a tweet about him and Pac having a time limit draw. So, people are calling each other out.
Now, were they pumped for Jay White?
Yeah, they were.
Because that didn't come across.
Okay, yeah, that didn't come across. Good.
It just felt like the whole segment just felt dead.
Yeah, no, see, that's what I'm talking about, because in the arena, it was Adam Cole made the announcement, and then special guest was going to come out, and as soon as King Switch popped up on the Tron, everybody standing up, holy shit, right? Same thing with Ishii whenever they came out for Rampage. I don't know how that came across on TV last night, but
it didn't because they started in the ring already when the Rampage popped up. So.
Yeah. But no, I mean they were everybody was lit for Ishii too. So
Dog sound lit for Ishii too.
But no, I mean, thoughts on the announcement? We talked a little bit last week, but now that it's official, what are you guys feeling as far as the Forbidden Door pay-per-view set for Chicago in June?
The Mark's road trip.
Did you see plane ticket prices
Is
to
that all
get
right?
to Chicago for? So they're like 3, 4, or 5 times what they normally are.
So
That night.
road trip.
People were showing screenshots that night of ticket prices,
Jeez.
and it was insane. So
Chicago's
it's gonna
a hub
be
too. So
it's gonna be the hardest ticket to get, I think, this year for a pro wrestling event.
next week, 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. Tickets go on sale.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the pay-per-view for sure. I like how it's a promotion versus promotion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to seeing if they make an announcement, like a match announcement before the tickets go on sale.
So rumors were that Omega may or may not be back, and that Okada may or may not be coming over.
Mm-hmm.
If Omega and Okada are off this card, does it hurt the pay-per-view? Having essentially the 2 biggest stars from each company not on the show itself.
Omega, you can't help it if he's still not cleared. So I mean, that's one thing, but Okada maybe.
I think it hurts New Japan.
Yeah.
Like that's your number 1 man, and he's not going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you got to have him there, right? Like, there's no way that he doesn't show up for this.
Yeah. It's too big of a
see him.
It's
too big of a pay-per-view not to be there,
Yeah.
especially on like their side to get all this American exposure.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw some people on Twitter go, well, Ring of Honor and New Japan have done this plenty of times before, and it's like, yo, this is different.
Yeah.
This is different. Like, yes, they sold out Madison Square Garden, but it was WrestleMania weekend, so shows were going to sell out regardless. I know a couple of people that went to that show, and they went specifically for Ring of Honor and New Japan. They didn't go for WrestleMania. So there were fans that went specifically to the Garden for that pay-per-view and did some other stuff during WrestleMania weekend and then came home. So I'm not going to say everybody was there just because of Mania and then they went to that as well. But this is different.
This is going to sell out. I mean, if All In sold out, CM Punk sold out, New Japan and AEW is going to sell out together.
Now, I saw some people say, well, since you're doing this in June, do you go back to Chicago for All Out in September? Like, should they move that somewhere else?
Chicago's like a second home now.
Yeah.
You can go there for anything.
Have they? Yeah, they have really haven't even officially announced it. So
no, they haven't. But I'm just.
But it's always there anyway. So.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that's originally what they had said was that Double or Nothing, the plan is to do that always in Vegas. All Out's always playing for Chicago. I think you could hold off and maybe put Full Gear there in November instead.
Be interested. I just think, we talk about what ifs in wrestling from time to time, and I don't know. Not that people were predicting this way back when the Forbidden Door first started, but you kind of got the vibe once it was open and you saw certain people from New Japan actually show up in AEW that we were all hoping as wrestling fans that it would eventually lead to some type of joint event, right?
Yeah.
And then New Japan started working more in the States, and you have New Japan Strong now and trying to gain an audience here. I think this is good for both companies. It'll help with New Japan get eyes on their product here in the States for people that don't watch New Japan. And then it'll help with AEW on a global scale, because
especially with them being on New Japan World now.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna garner interest. They did say that the pay-per-view here in the States will only be available through like the normal traditional pay-per-view outlets that AEW does. It'll be available on New Japan World, but just for people in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, because I see a bunch of people hopping on a New Japan subscription trying to watch it for $99.
$99.
Not gonna happen. They're going for their money this time around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was the big thing match wise. Super stacked card for next week for Dynamite too. They kind of glossed over it. The graphic popped up quick, and everybody in the arena was like, did we just see that? Like showing Dax versus Cash for the Owen Hart, like that was something that caught everybody off guard whenever they showed that. The street fight between Serena Deeb and Cheetah. To me, that's your main event to show, but we'll save that conversation after it airs next week to see what they do with it. But yeah, Wednesday was enjoyable. The two things that did not, I guess, not sit right, but two things that fell flat: the ending to the coffin match and the main event for Rampage between Jade and Marina. Other than that, no complaints from anything that we saw on Wednesday night there live in the arena.
I didn't like the coffin match.
You didn't like the whole match or just the ending?
I didn't like the whole match.
Yeah.
Because it felt, Donald, what was the match that you referenced that it felt like?
It felt like Darby versus Matt Hardy for the TNT title. It's like once everybody started coming out and started fighting, it like all the focus was off of Darby and Andrade, and everybody was on the brawl.
Yeah.
It felt like that. It just took away from the whole thing for me.
It was like it was almost split like in two segments, where the first half of the match was all about the brawls and not Darby and Andrade, and then the second half was the focus was back on Darby and Andrade. But by that point, I wasn't invested in the match, and I didn't feel like it really delivered. And then I didn't like the ending either.
So while they were brawling, what was Darby and Andrade doing?
They
So
weren't fighting each other.
They were fighting. Yeah, they were brawling too. And then there were times whenever they were brawling with everybody else. But for the most part,
Kenny agrees.
They stayed with the brawl in and of themselves. Like I didn't like the fact that it felt like it was a handicap match essentially. You know, you had a 3-on-2 match, and then it just whittled down to 1 versus 1.
Because on TV, we got everything from as soon as they went to the crowd until Darby or until Sting went out through the curtain, I do believe. So we caught that whole segment. I'm not sure were they out there too, Andrade and
Darby? They were both out there and they were involved. So like the way that the arena was set up, they came down and around past the section that we were sitting in, and then the dive and the walk through the curtain was over to the right-hand side of us. So we were right there able to see everything. So everybody was mixing it up with everybody and involved in everything. But Sting...
I just remember Sting and Butcher the whole time, or not Butcher Blade the whole time.
Sting is like, that crowd went bananas for him. Like as soon as he took the hat and mask off, they were lit. And the dive capped it off. You had holy shit chance, and then he walked off, and everybody kind of like settled back into trying to focus back on Andrade and Darby to finish the match. So I just think that it came off super flat in the arena. The ending seemed rushed. You know, Andrade tried breaking the lid to the casket, and I'm like, why are you breaking? You have to close the casket to win the match. Why are you trying to break off the lid? And then apparently the lid was lined with thumbtacks.
Yeah. You could tell on TV. So
yeah, so it just
that's where a coffin drop could have came in. I think that's what I was expecting.
And I mean, having it lined with thumbtacks and him slamming it on Andrade's back 2 or 3 times and then closing the lid to end the match, that makes more sense now. But in the arena, it's like you just got hit a couple times with the top of the casket. Like, why is this match over right now?
Yeah.
And then you got the random running from whoever.
No, Jose. Yeah, Jose. He just randomly comes in and like enough.
And then it didn't make sense either that, you know, the Andrade office, they came out, but the Hardys come out to celebrate at the end. But why weren't they there to help out Darby? Like if Sting came out, it's like what are you there for? Like, why are you out there applauding if you're not helping out?
I told you that Wednesday night what that was there for.
Cinematic match.
I told you what that was for. You know, Legends got to upstage the youngsters somehow.
So after, I don't know if you guys, I don't know on air if did they shoot Matt Hardy's promo? Was that live?
No, I didn't see it.
No. Okay, so Rampage. So Dynamite went off. Matt Hardy grabbed the microphone and cut a promo.
They were doing the delete, and that's pretty much where the show ended.
Okay, so after that, he got a microphone, cut a promo. It's him and Jeff versus Andrade and somebody else on Dark on Tuesday, and that's the end of it. Like after that match, it'll be over. So I know there was rumors. I saw somebody floating around something that Jeff Hardy reached back out to WWE because he's already demoted to Dark, and it's like, all right, like let's settle it back down. Like, come on. But yeah, that was it. He cut that promo, and then they switched the ring out and everything, got everything set up for Rampage. Garcia and Kingston, I've never heard chops as loud as that in my entire life. I don't know if you guys could hear him coming through on the television side of it.
No, I didn't watch it yet.
Like there was at least 3 or 4 chops from each of them in that match where like everybody sitting around me in my section, I wasn't like they're all like grabbing their chest, like you could feel you could feel it yourself with how loud they were hitting each other. But yeah, it was a good night, fun night. Well worth the $40 on the ticket I spent. Got my money's worth and some. So not going to complain about that from a live viewing standpoint.
AEW usually doesn't do this like WWE does, but did they announce anything like if they're returning?
They didn't. Britt came out afterwards, and like I said, and sent everybody home happy. And she cut a little promo about how whenever it was announced that they were first coming to Pittsburgh, Jericho was like, Pittsburgh, I don't know. They're a real iffy crowd. I don't know if it's going to work. And the last time that they were there for Dynamite in the first ever Rampage, Jericho said to her, okay, this is a different Pittsburgh crowd than what I know from coming here all the years with the WWE. So I don't know if we'll ever get a pay-per-view here in Pittsburgh, but they're definitely going to keep us in the loop for Dynamites and Rampage.
I mean, if they're selling out now, I think that could justify at least a full year or a Revolution.
Well, I tweeted at Britt Baker and Tony Khan after the show. I'm like, hey, based on what Britt said, when we get in a pay-per-view here in the Berg, no response, obviously. But the only thing with it is I don't know, because PPG Paints, WWE runs that. So I don't know if they could do an event there in that arena. Like, I don't know what the agreement is between the arena and WWE.
Yeah.
If they're even allowed, like, for years you couldn't go into the Garden if you weren't WWE.
Yeah.
Because of the deal they had. So those types of things, I don't know. But I think given the city, the airport, as far as flights from different areas able to come in, it's an international airport. Like, I think a pay-per-view would be able to be had here in the city. It's just a matter of, do they have the venue to put one on? Because you wouldn't want to run a pay-per-view at the Pete. You need something.
Yeah,
you need something
bigger.
I'd do one at the Pete, just to say that you can sell that out finally. Because like they sold a good amount of tickets, but wasn't officially a sellout this week. Where I think that the pay-per-view would officially sell it out.
But the stuff that was open was the top 200 section of the arena, and there wasn't that many seats open from what I saw looking around. So
yeah, I think there was. I think whenever I last checked, there was less than 300 seats available.
And that's about right, because looking around, it was very hard. Not counting the seats that they had roped off around the hard cam section, but looking around trying to find empty seats, it was hard to see, especially the lower half of the arena. It was hard to find an empty seat there. So, all right. Anybody got anything else AEW wise?
No.
All right, so let's get into the soapbox that I was on Monday night, and I was trashing Raw Monday night, and I'm gonna trash Raw. I hit up Kenny and Toe on their watch along. on the YouTube channel, you had 5 minutes of wrestling, televised wrestling, in the first hour of Raw. I think for the full 3 hours of Raw on Monday night, you may have had 30 to 40 minutes of actual televised wrestling that you watched on Monday night. And to me, as a wrestling fan, that makes zero sense. I tuned in. I watched skits and interviews all night long. I didn't watch wrestling on Monday night. So Jay, being the WWE flag bearer, I'm assuming you enjoyed Monday Night Raw's episode.
I can't remember it.
Okay, so that's a start there because
that's pretty much wrestling. That's pretty much. I can't remember. I watch it and it's gone. I can't remember it.
But yeah,
I heard the wedding scene was real long. How long did that play out?
That was real long. I do. Now that you mention that, yeah.
I didn't even watch Raw, so I'm not sure.
That was wrong, and everything about that was the shits except for R-Truth.
And Tamina.
I saw some other people post that too, saying like R-Truth can't even say this segment.
And he tried his hardest, and I got a couple laughs out of stuff that he was saying and doing, but
Kenny said Monday night was so bad I wanted to turn off, and we started talking about other stuff.
It was that first hour. It was literally 5 minutes of televised pro wrestling. You had Sasha and Naomi against Liv and Rhea, which was 4 minutes of televised wrestling, and then majority of that match was lost to a commercial break.
Okay.
And then you had Veer in a squash match, which lasted a minute, maybe 90 seconds.
You'll get more of those.
But that was it as far as wrestling in the first hour and 10 minutes, because they started the second hour.
Sasha was crying in it.
Oh yeah. And that's the other bone I got to pick about this show, but we'll get into that in a minute. Even to start the second hour, they had the KO and Ezekiel lie detector segment. So the first hour and 10 minutes, you had 5 minutes of wrestling. If I'm a paying member of that audience live, I'm super pissed.
That's bad.
But is that what they want to go for?
But that's,
are they going to be? They might be more like Jason, who they're there for the entertainment more than the wrestling.
He just called you a non-wrestling fan.
I'm using Jason's words, right?
I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm just enjoying it. That's me. Like when you guys watched AEW, you guys did more complaining than y'all did enjoying the show during the watch along. You did more nitpicking. I sat there and enjoyed what I was watching.
I went into it with an open mind on Monday. Like, I really did. I'm like, I'm going to sit down. I had nothing else going on. I'm like, let me just turn it on and just see what it is, right?
Kenny, you're a trooper for watching it live every week for 3 hours.
But no, so like I really did. I went into it with an open mind, Jay, and I'm like, and then they just that first hour, like, and I'm like, why? I haven't seen any wrestling. No wrestling on a wrestling show. Like,
he said, just for that tag match, that was it.
It was it.
And a squash match.
The fact that Sasha Banks even was out there for that wedding segment is a disservice to Sasha Banks. People are like, how can you say that? I'm like, would Charlotte ever be out there for a wedding segment? Would Becky ever be out there for a wedding segment? You don't put your upper echelon top stars out there for a comedy 24/7 wedding segment bit.
But storyline, who did you come in with?
Oh, so now that's long-term.
Team bad.
I'm not saying long-term booking, but those are your girls through and through.
I mean, I didn't watch the segment, but all it should have been was just the people that are in the 24/7 chase. That's the only people that should have been out there.
That's the main bone I got to pick with. Sasha is above that level. Mm-hmm. Hell, even Naomi's above that level. So why do you have them out there? I get it. Team bad with Tamina. She was one of the people getting married, whatever. But Dog, you can't. You're looking for superstars. Sasha is a superstar, right? If I was her after being booked in that, I would go, all right, I'm out. I'm going to Hollywood.
No, you're on done. Why would you care? You're on TV.
But you're not being.
You're not on TV. You're having fun.
You're not on TV in a good segment in a positive role. There's nothing there that she could have done to help elevate herself being involved in that segment. So it's
Sasha Banks. It didn't hurt her.
Standing in the ring.
It's Sasha Banks. It didn't hurt
her. I disagree. Bully Ray had the same take on Busted Open.
You think
why is Sasha even out there?
You think maybe they're out there having fun, loving what they do? Maybe
she wanted to be in this segment.
Yeah,
you get paid, yeah. They pay me. I'm gonna do whatever they ask me to do.
I don't know. Just
whoever made that storyline in the wedding needs to get fired. That was a joke to WWE.
Well, they got the pops from Tamina and Tozawa each week. So
was it any different that we know how WWE wedding segments usually go. They're always a cluster.
As far as the WWE wedding, with like the payoff that the wedding normally provides with some, shenanigans and cluster scenarios and whatever, this was probably the most lackluster wedding that they've done.
You got 4 title changes.
24/7.
Yeah, that were entertaining.
That don't matter.
They weren't entertaining though.
It was entertaining to me.
Who's champ?
Dana Brooke.
Okay.
Did she go in as champ?
No. Yeah. Oh, did she?
Yeah, she did. She went in as champ, and here's why it doesn't make sense, Jay. R-Truth announced during the wedding that the 24/7 title was off limits.
They said, I do. Over. Restrictions are lifted.
Kenny liked the wedding.
So what you say? I do.
It's off limits. So Reggie went in for the pin on Dana.
So this whole month and a half worth of story was all set up for Reggie to turn on Dana to try to get the title from the get-go. There was no love story. There was no happy couple.
Isn't that truth every week?
It was all about the title.
It's the 24. Yes, isn't the 24/7 title hunt?
Isn't that why is
it still a thing?
Because it's entertaining.
24/7 title jumped the shark a year and a half ago.
No, there's still entertaining moments. Sorry.
So the whole storyline started whenever Reggie asked Dana out, saying that he liked her, but she wanted to stay friends. He pinned her, so he became the champ. So why get married?
Hey, we do stupid things.
In the name of love, not in the name of 24/7 title.
No, wrestling does stupid things. Sometimes the stupid shit's entertaining, though. But I didn't watch this, so I can't say if it was or not.
But top to bottom, I was like, I can't sit through another Raw after that. You gave me no wrestling in 3 hours. You gave me less than 25% of your show was actual televised wrestling on Monday night. And not saying that it's that much every single week, but you can't have that on a wrestling show. That's like above and beyond filler. Yes, there's filler in 3 hours, but they like overdid the filler.
To Anthony's comment, do you think the 24/7 title would be better if other people were involved other than the jobbers?
No.
I think the 24/7 title, when they first announced it with Mick Foley, had potential to actually be somewhat of a, I wouldn't say a meaningful title, but something that you could have storylines around your lower card wrestlers and have them competing for something. But then it just turned into, the hardcore title back in the day with Crash Holly. Like they switched it right over to that. And honestly, if you go back and listen to that promo that Mick cut whenever he first debuted it, like you thought you were going to get a I want to say a serious title, but like I said, something that was meaningful for the lower card to go after, that you could have stories with these people to get them on TV. They turned on that immediately.
It's the roll-up title. That's all it is.
Essentially, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally the roll-up title.
He says they'll go into marriage counseling.
Look at you booking in form. There you go.
Dr. Shelby coming back.
All right, that was
segments.
I got nothing else for Raw. That was just my biggest takeaway. There was no wrestling on Monday night. SmackDown last night. Well, you got something else for Raw?
Who did Cody play?
Cody wrestled KO in the main event.
Okay. Yeah.
That ended in a count out. And here's the other thing that I bitching about. We talked about Miz. We talked about Miz last week being put in the role of
the bridge.
Well, now you bridged it with Kevin Owens this week for Seth and Cody. And it's like, why are you taking away potential money feuds for throwaway segments and matches on Raw?
That's what they do. That was Stone Cold's argument 20 years ago.
And by the way, hold on.
You can't wedge those feuds in if you already have it booked. If you already have your idea booked, why would you wedge in short feuds?
No, I'm not saying to wedge in short feuds. I'm saying don't use those guys in the bridge matches at all, because we know the feud is between Seth and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
So after Seth and Cody are done, Cody can move on to a feud with The Miz, or Cody can move on to a feud with KO. But
you know where Cody's going after this.
Well, we'll see. We can get into that if we want. But to me, it makes no sense.
Should they hold off on those matches just for house shows instead? Because I'm sure it's probably still testing Cody and see how he can go in the ring and people that that he's worked with in the past and everything. But I agree. It wouldn't make sense to put it on TV right now.
I think house shows he's just been wrestling Seth.
Okay.
Yeah. He did a dark match after SmackDown 2 weeks ago with Kevin Owens. That's when KO hit him with the Young Bucks pose after he super kicked him. Which hell, if he would have did that on Monday Night Raw, I would have popped, because that would have.
He did Goldust thing. He did this thing. Yeah,
he did the Goldust. It just like you have a roster of people. Like, why can't?
But then AEW's doing the same thing, throwing in meaningless matches in the middle of a main storyline. I mean, which one do you want? Who? You want them fighting each other every week after week after week, or just random matches in between?
With who? I'm not shitting on your point. With who though? So I know,
with who win
for AEW. Like, who are they doing that with now?
Like anybody, Hangman's fighting when you're in a feud with Page, or when you're in a feud with Cole. Anybody, Cole's fighting when you're in a feud with Page. They do have random matches in between their feuds that are pointless.
Yeah, but I think to Steve's point, I think he's trying to say that these are feuds that could be money and long term down the road. Where you're always going to get a throwaway match. That's just wrestling on TV these days. But like, I don't know. I don't know if Hangman's really wrestling. Hangman's not wrestling like Daniel Bryan this week before he gets to Adam Cole.
Yeah, like Adam Cole versus Evil Uno is not a money feud in between him and Hangman, like, because the Dark Order and Hangman are involved together. You know what I mean? Like,
but then who you gonna put with Cody to main event a show? If that's your main event match,
and that's where I'm getting to the next point in this to further it along, is that why aren't there other people there? Like, if you read the tea leaves and the rumor and innuendo, the heel side of the Raw roster is Seth, KO, and Miz. The babyface side is Cody, and I forget who else.
AJ.
Yeah, AJ. You know, maybe you can put Edge over there on the heel side now, but like, it was literally like three names at the top for heel and babyface to go against. So then you run into this problem where you have Cody and Seth booked for WrestleMania Backlash, which is 2 weeks away or a week away from tomorrow. I can't remember. But you're building it up by having Cody wrestle The Miz and KO, who are top 2 of your heels in meaningless, pointless matches.
But they're main event matches. You're not just gonna throw anybody in there.
But this like,
if that's your goal right now.
Yeah, I see both points. I mean, yeah. Get your hot shot and stuff. I see that. And then I see with the AEW stuff too.
Because then you can always double back around.
And then with KO this week, so Seth calls KO, they come out and hug. So all the stuff that they bitched about and bickered about and broke up and fought over Stone Cold before Mania, all that
before Mania was gone. Yeah.
Right? Like we're just randomly gonna hug and
the Men in Black
thing. This is like the third time they've done this.
Hold on. So you forget about all that. We come out, we hug, and then I'm gonna walk out on the match because you call me a fat ass. Seth's words, literally. Get in the ring, fat ass. And KO was like, "This isn't even my match. This is your match. I'm done." And walked out. 10 count. Raw ends.
Sounds about right. Let's push somebody at WrestleMania and then just do shit with them afterwards.
Saved you on a future feud. It's not a throwaway. You didn't lose.
I guess. I mean, if you want to take a break, if you want to take a shining star moment away from it, then yeah, there wasn't a clean loss, and yeah, you can circle back around to it. But I just hate everything that they're doing with it right now. Like, and we can flip it over to SmackDown. We can see the same thing, but in another stance where you have RK Bro and the Usos fighting for the unification title. And last week we had Riddle versus Jimmy. This week we had Riddle versus Jay. Next week I'm sure we'll get Randy versus Jimmy, and the week after that Randy versus Jay.
It didn't fight.
Wrestle at the pay-per-view.
You get a Street Profits moment in there somewhere, I'm sure.
Who?
You can't, don't say who the Street Profits. They probably ain't lost yet.
Man, they starting to get that who now.
They ain't lost yet. I don't know what kind of booking they have. They don't never lose.
You did say yeah.
It's just like
they're teetering.
It's just like they don't know how to book. They don't know how to book a story to get to a pay-per-view without just having everybody interact and wrestle with each other multiple times until the pay-per-view.
Because all they do is book pay-per-views.
Yeah,
they're not doing that long-term storyline.
And then like with the Usos and RK Bro, you're having all these, like I just ran off, matches. But circle back before Mania, they worked together. How much they worked together? How much before Mania? It's just I don't know, man.
But I mean, like you're saying, it's like I see what you're saying, but people are paying for tickets. I'm not paying to see the Lakers if LeBron ain't playing. So you got to give them matches every week,
right? But that's what maybe I'm not being clear as to I guess what my true gripe is. It's the fact that
what you're saying, but you got to put.
Why is there nobody else? Why is there nobody else to where you have to wrestle 4 or 5 matches before a pay-per-view with the people that you're wrestling at the pay-per-view?
Because if anybody else loses, you're gonna bitch about it.
CM Punk and MJF,
Viking Raiders lose, you're gonna bitch about it.
Is it more like like we talked about the Pirates, how people just go because it's something to do for family entertainment? With kids these days, is that all the parents are taking them to for wrestling too? Like
what you talking about? Who was that?
Like, is it? I don't know.
To me, the parent. That's an excuse. The parents still like it. That's an excuse to take the kids.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the same one who comes into the store of like, my son wants that Pete Dunne action figure.
Yeah.
My son wants that.
But me as a parent. Yeah,
sorry, who's that?
I don't. Me as a parent, if I'm taking my kid and I have Raw or Dynamite, I'm taking them to Dynamite because I like what they're doing more in AEW than WWE.
Well, the crowd seems to disagree with you. I don't see no kids at Dynamite.
There were kids. There were a lot of kids there Wednesday night.
Hey, the TV don't show it. You see a bunch of neckbeards.
Now it's not. It's nowhere near. It's nowhere near the kid interaction that you have in WWE. But AEW's never garnered to that demographic.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect to see a lot of kids at an AEW show unless their parents are the ones bringing them. But whenever I was in,
like, your kid ain't no Orange Cassidy fan. Get the fuck out of here.
when we were in line going in, like there were kids all around me. You know, I had kids dressed up as MJF. I had kids dressed up as Darby.
There were kids. Well, your kid's an MJF fan at 4. People to bring a Burberry scarf on.
Kids can be assholes too.
I wouldn't say they were as young as 4, but they were. You know, I would say they were between probably like 7 and 10 years old. The kids.
My favorite wrestler is MJF, the wrestler that's had 5 matches in his career.
I like his promo work.
I just don't. And this circle, I guess this circles back around to the whole ending the brand split. If they end the brand split, and maybe that'll help fix some of these issues, or what. But it's like a lack of depth on rosters now, where they don't have people, so you constantly have to have these individuals in matches with each other just to get the television off every week.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. Like, there's no reason like Shelton Benjamin and things should be. Everybody who came out,
where's Shelton and Cedric at? Or
everybody who came out for Theory Celebration, there's no reason they shouldn't be on TV.
Like, where's Apollo? Like, where, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what honestly, I have no idea what the solution is. I just know that, like, the more time that goes on, at least recently, since coming out of the Thunderdome, out of the pandemic era and watching WWE, the less special pay-per-views feel.
True.
Royal Rumble wasn't a special event. WrestleMania, to me, it didn't feel special. It didn't feel like WrestleMania, and it's because I saw most of the card for 6 weeks leading up to it. And I just think as time moves on, unless they change the way that they're putting out their television product each and every single week, the pay-per-view is just going to be something you tune on Peacock just because it's on. There's no special. There's no, oh my God, I got to see this pay-per-view.
I feel like they've been doing that ever since the network launched in 2014, though, too. Like, you're not, when you used to pay 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever it was a month for a pay-per-view, you know, you were hoping you were getting that return. You know, return on the investment. And I feel like you're getting your $9.99 worth, or now Peacock, whatever you get for free, or pay $5.99, whatever. That's all you're getting your entertainment value for, to me at least. You're not getting the way it used to be at all.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I have no idea what the fix is. You know, and SmackDown last night, it was just like.
It was blah.
It was background noise for me last night.
It was.
Yeah, I agree.
Charlotte and Ronda need to quit. I ran this
again. Here's the thing with this whole feud with them. Charlotte, to me, I think has been fantastic. I really do. Like, you know, what she did as far as, you know, taunting the crowd last night and back and forth and everything else, like, it's good heel work. Ronda hasn't elevated her game to match Charlotte.
She wasn't bad yesterday.
She's still pulling her down, though.
They gave her less to say yesterday, which made her feel better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's the takeaway that I got. Here's your quick 2, 3, 4 lines, and then we're going to flip this table, get kendo sticks out, and wrap the segment up.
I mean, if you can't get it, I guess you ain't got it. You gotta.
See, I don't think she was this bad in her first run. I think she's just so much worse this time.
Bad, like on the mic? What? She's always
no, I know she was bad, but I felt like she was getting better as she was going on. And it's like now, it's like I just feel like whatever whatever improvements she made then, she just has gone completely backwards now. Like, she should have gotten better in her off time.
Better at what?
Everything.
I mean, okay.
She was pregnant for 9 months. How much you want her to do while she's pregnant?
But I mean, are you talking more like the talking?
Talking. I don't think her in-ring ability has improved. And I like Ronda. I just this run so far has just been absolute the shits for me with her.
Yes.
And I was excited when she came back, and I gave her the pass at the Rumble. You know, like I knew the whole pregnancy thing, but she had enough time to build to get better from Rumble to WrestleMania, and I didn't think that she has at all, and even after now.
I think she's just selling it in until contract runs out.
But if that's your style, what do you want? How do you want it to grow if that's your style?
I don't mind the MMA style. I just think it looks really sloppy. Like I felt it looked better before. I don't think it looks as refined.
That's pretty much the same.
My thing. So you do the contract signing last night, but they're still a week or two away from, like 2 weeks away from the pay-per-view. So what are you going to do now?
Beat Gulak up. That's what they're doing.
Backstage brawl.
Anthony says that Ronda needs to go back to the gym and learn how to wrestle.
Yeah,
I don't know who she needs to train with. I know she used to train with Natty, but I don't know who she's training with now.
Wrestling's like art. Subjective.
Yeah, it's true. Everybody's got a different style.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So we know Charlotte likes to go into business for herself, and that's been well documented. And not saying that she's done that at all during this feud with Ronda, but like I'm gonna wait to see Ronda with somebody else to see whether or not it looks as bad as it is.
Yeah.
Because Charlotte's ability in the ring, Charlotte. It's very hard to have a bad match with Charlotte, given the talent that Charlotte has, right? So if Ronda moves on, she wins the belt, she moves on to somebody else, and it's the shits again, then it's like, okay, well.
But I feel like with all those, you're just going to get the classic. Anybody else is going to be the straight 2-minute armbar, not even 2-minute match.
I mean, is that the best way to present her, though? She's a true, like.
If she was a heel, yeah.
That's what I mean. So does it go back to you have Ronda in the wrong role? Ronda Rousey's not a babyface.
No.
But I think for a heel, you need to be a talker.
Yes.
So you're in a lose-lose situation.
And then if they're
the fans are going to eventually turn on her again.
If you're going to unify the belts and you do have Ronda beat Charlotte, you're going to have Ronda against Bianca?
You know who's the face of that?
So it's like
I want to see the match, but I wouldn't like the outcome.
You think they would unify and put it on Ronda? Because it's Rousey? And then, see, to me, the name value doesn't hold up as what it did the first time around.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Which Becky brought that up talking with Ariel Helwani before WrestleMania and was like, they're only in the main event because of name value, and that name don't carry the same way they did whenever she wrestled me in the main event, 2 years ago.
But is it that where doesn't the name value hold up?
Just in general, Ronda Rousey's not like she hasn't been in an MMA fight in how many years?
But you don't think like if WWE gives like if they plan on doing like the Tonight Show or any other thing, and they give them a list of people, I think they're going to go with Ronda more than they're going to go with Bianca.
It still has that name value, but
Bianca doesn't have that name value for mainstream that Ronda has.
You're going to let Ronda go on Jimmy Kimmel and talk?
I'm not saying that they should. I'm just saying in general, those people are going to pick somebody that they know more than somebody that they don't know.
But if you're building up stars, I'm telling them they have to take Bianca over Ronda.
But they're not going to tell them.
You don't know that. First off, I don't see nobody clamoring to get Ronda Rousey on the talk show.
I don't think there's a whole lot of clamoring to get any WWE person right now, but
I mean they had Roman on and Seth on before, leading
just
up
for
to
Mania though. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. WWE don't do that nowadays. It's like it's just them to build up to Mania.
I mean,
those are terrible.
They used before, you used to get people there was people that would go on Conan or some of the other ones a lot. They would get them throughout the year. But now it's Mania and that's it.
I feel like unless you're The Rock, Stone Cold, or Hulk Hogan, you don't have that.
Cena.
See, and even sometimes his, or blah.
Yeah.
You just hear crickets in the background. So you don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
With the name value.
So Charlotte's not the champ. Who guys want to be the champ on SmackDown? And I mean, Banks is on. Is Banks on SmackDown or is she on Raw?
She's on
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Okay.
As long as she got the tag title, she can't.
On both.
I mean, I
Bailey.
Yeah.
Oscar.
When is she coming back? I need Bailey back.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like forever since she's been off.
Yes. Bailey needs to come back.
And if you have Charlotte beat Ronda in this I Quit match and Charlotte retains, then I think the next feud for Charlotte is going to be Lacey Evans.
Yeah, probably.
Because they're prepping Lacey to be that all white meat Uber babyface. So
remember, she was supposed to be champ too before she got pregnant.
Where do you throw that in? Do you throw that in for Money in the Bank, or do you save that for SummerSlam?
I don't know. I don't even know if I want to see it. To be honest with you. If you look up and down the SmackDown roster right now, Charlotte is your only heel. That's credible. After that, what? Shayna or Natty?
Natty's pulling double duty, so
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Xia Li.
Hey, she protects herself now.
Yeah.
She protects herself now.
I mean, would I like to see Shayna versus Ronda? Potentially, if done right.
Yeah.
Given their history and everything, Shayna could be the heel. But they haven't done anything with Shayna since they called her up.
You mean what?
She should have been champ a long time ago.
4-time tag champ?
All right. I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing that with you. All right. Anything else WWE, AEW wise?
We got it's a question here that Kenny posted a little bit ago. With the rumor of John Cena coming back in June, will we see a Cena versus Rhodes match for the face of the company?
Absolutely not.
No.
We get another Summer Cena.
No.
I do not need to see that.
I don't want to see that. No.
It's rumored to be coming back, but I think that's like last case, break glass buildings on super fire, burn it down, calling Cena. I don't think it's.
They did that last year with Roman. It was like, how many times to go break this case?
Unless
Cena to promote.
Cena can come back and just talk. That's it.
You want that NWO Cena?
I don't want to see it.
No.
I don't need Cena coming back for a June through August run every year.
No. Because if they do that, that tells you your creative is terrible.
I could see him going to the UK show though. I don't know if we'll see him for Money in the Bank or SummerSlam, but I could see him going to the UK show. Help with that.
And there's nobody really that I want to see Cena face. Like Cena versus Reigns made sense given the story that they've been telling with Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're beating everybody, but you haven't beaten Cena. And then you beat Cena. Okay.
And that's it.
I was there for that. But now there's nobody out there to where you can give me a story as to why Cena's coming back that makes sense for me to get invested in it, to watch it. Right now, as of today's date.
Cena and Orton one more time.
That's what Peacock's for.
And speaking of which, this Monday will be Orton's 20th anniversary for his debut.
Yeah, a lot of love and flowers thrown out Orton's way
20 years. Wow.
from the top
Especially
top
from
guys. Cena, Triple H. Why is Randy Orton not considered a Mount Rushmore type guy?
I mean, maybe if you're just a ruthless aggression era.
I wouldn't call him Mount Rushmore, but he's one of my favorite wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Orton's the equivalent of, and this is going to get a lot of hate, so I'm saying it for a reason. But to me, Orton's the WWE equivalent of LeBron, where you've been on top your entire career, and yet you don't get the flowers that you deserve. Because it's not LeBron, it's Jordan, it's Kobe. Doesn't matter. LeBron's going to finish his career number one overall, right? But a lot of people are never going to say LeBron's the greatest basketball player ever. Right? Orton, like accolades wise, Orton's going to be one of the most, if not the most decorated star of all time.
14-time champ, Grand Slam champ, Money in the Bank.
He got more championships than LeBron.
Main event WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at his career start to finish, it's hard to argue that people have had a better career given the longevity than Randy Orton.
What does it always take to have that longevity? You got to change up your character from time to time. What has Randy Orton done? He changes it up from time to time.
Nothing. He's just been the Viper ever since.
No, I would say there's a.
Legend Killer was good.
It's different variations.
Legitimately, you could break it up into like four. I think you can divide Orton up into like four eras, so to speak. You had Evolution, Evolution, Legend Killer, the Viper, and then RK Bro. I think you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the most over in the business right now.
I mean, he's consistent.
Yeah, he is. Mm-hmm.
And when he decides to hang it up, whenever that time will be, he's first ballot headliner for the following year, probably for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just odd that you never hear his name being thrown around as top 4, top 5 WWE all time.
Because I think we think of faces of the company for the most part. Who do you see as the face of the company? And he's never.
But why? But again, then it's like, why though? You know what I mean?
He was always that good heel against Cena too.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have they fought over the years?
A million times.
Yeah, I swear there was years where it was
started. I swear that's the feud that started. Hey, we're just gonna have them wrestle constantly against each other. That feud there.
Yeah,
that's what started. That's what started the. Forget storytelling, whatever. We're just gonna put the matches constantly against each other, because people by the end of that, people were like, if I see another Orton Cena match, I'm kicking my TV.
Yeah.
And now you look at the product, and that's all you get. They're the same people wrestling each other all the damn time. So,
I mean, I'll always give them whenever they fought, they at least did different stuff. It wasn't like a match every month. It was like they would change it up with different things and.
If WWE goes out of business, it'll be Cena and Orton on the last Raw, just like Sting and Flair last night.
Anything else?
Tonight we have Rebellion for Impact Wrestling live on Fight TV. Main event: Josh Alexander against Moose for the Impact World Championship.
Does he get it?
The question is, does he finally get the crowning moment? I think he does. Honestly.
Yes,
I hope so.
Yes.
I don't see him not winning this match tonight. Coming out, new Impact champion, and hopefully he can, take the Impact heavyweight title and do what he did with the X Division, because when he was X Division champ, he arguably had, top matches of the year candidates.
Absolutely.
Looking back on his matches, in the X division, the Iron Man match with TJP for me was, up there, my top 3 match of the years. But yeah, it'll be a good show. Impact, again, I feel has done really good TV work. I know you guys don't watch it. For those of you that have access and are able to see Impact on a weekly basis, tune in. It's been a really good show. So some of the matches tonight, we talked about the main title match. We got Trey Miguel versus Ace Austin versus Mike Bailey. X Division. That's gonna slap. That right there could be match of the night. The Influence, Madison Rayne and Tennille versus the Inspiration for the Impact Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. Jonathan Gresham versus Eddie Edwards. Jonah versus Ishii. Tasha Steelz versus Rosemary. Deonna Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie for the AAA Reina de Reyes.
Who do you think's winning that one? Because I'm really going back and forth on that one.
For me, I want to see Deonna, but I can see why they would have Taya win. Depending on Deonna's contract situation and what she's going to do and sign and everything else.
Yeah, because I keep going back and forth. Like, she has Ring of Honor and she has that. And just like, okay, she's probably going to have to drop the Ring of Honor title at some point soon. Mm-hmm. So, unless they come up with something for that, which would be good. But it's just like, then you have your most valuable person in the company without a title.
Besides Alexander winning and Moose, the Deonna and Taya is the match that I most want to watch tonight. Because Taya can go. Deonna obviously is one of the top women's wrestlers around, has been for the last 2 years of this run, ever since she left WWE. So that match I'm super looking forward to. Chris Sabin versus Jay White versus Steve Macklin. And then Violent by Design, Eric Young, Diener, and/or Doring versus a TBD tag team elimination match. So solid card. I think the three main matches: Miguel, Austin, and Bailey, Moose and Alexander, and then Taya versus Deonna for me are what I'm looking forward to the most tonight out of Impact and Rebellion. Later on this year, Slammiversary will be 20 years for Slammiversary.
20 years for the company.
For the company. So we'll do a little Impact TNA special there.
Wow. Yeah, and so the past few years they put Slammiversary in July, and I saw they're moving it back to, I think it's June 19th.
The week before Forbidden Door, the 19th.
Which is good because that's roughly around the debut of TNA. So they're going back to like the roots there and going to do it in Nashville. I like that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to do something. We'll have to do a little special After Dark episode or something there for that. Talk about TNA and Impact. And then the other announcement I saw this week, MLW announced Women's Championship.
So they're finally moving ahead with it.
Yeah. So it'll be Taya Valkyrie, and she's battling a wrestler. I'm trying to remember her name. She was trained by Gangrel. Why can't I remember her name? Holidead.
Okay, I saw that advertised. I didn't know who she was.
Yeah, trained by Gangrel. So, so MLW is getting.
It's just that. That's it. That's the match for the title.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought they were doing like a tournament. Okay.
No, not that I saw. It's just that match for the title.
So do you put it on Taya just to give it some name value to start off?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So she might end up being champ.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And MLW works with AAA and that, so
almost everybody.
That makes sense there. Yeah. That's all I have for wrestling this week. We got anything else?
I'm good.
All right, let's crack open a beer.
Chug, 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 chug.
All right. This week's drink of the week is brought to you by Stop Trying to Make Everyone Happy. You're not beer.
I think we've had some beer that doesn't make us happy.
Yeah, last week's was one of them. Last week's was definitely.
Oh, that was terrible.
All right, Jay, you want to set this one up since this was your pick?
I just saw a picture that it said peach, and I was like, oh, I'm taking it. All I got. Can't get any more. I don't know the company. I don't even know what kind of beer it is. I saw peach and went with it.
All right. Well, thanks for ruining the segment. But this is the two peach affair. It's an American wheat ale with peach puree. It is how much percent?
It does. I couldn't find it on the can.
Oh, a mystery.
Yeah.
Ooh, we could be really loosey goosey.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, Jason just picked a non-alcoholic beer out of the place.
No, we weren't in that section of the store. All right, let's see what we got. Smell the peaches.
It's brewed in Pittsburgh.
There you go. Good job reading the can. Oh, wow.
Okay.
Definitely for the lack of flavor that we had.
I think anything's a step up.
Yeah. There's that. I mean, you get the peach for sure.
Yes, you do.
Absolutely. A little bit sharper of a bite on this. I wasn't expecting that from it being a wheat ale. Definitely a sharp bite to it, and that may be because of the peach puree. But I mean, as we're getting here, it's going to be 80 degrees here in the Berg today. Weather's changing. Grass is getting cut. Everything else. This you could add this into your rotation for a summertime beer.
Maybe. Don't know what that alcohol percentage is, but
yeah.
Not sure how many you'll drink of these, but
You looking it up?
Yeah.
I'm like really. I have no idea how to grade this.
It is one of those mystery ones.
yeah.
It's
4.75.
Okay. So it's a good summer beer.
But it's heavy though. For it only being 4 points, like it's a heavy beer. You get like the summer solstice and some of those other, summertime beers that are like 5.2, 4.8. Like you can drink those like they're water.
which are lighter, yeah.
This is a heavy drinking beer. Like I feel full already, and I've haven't even drinking a third of this can.
Okay.
I like this.
Maybe that flaming hot is killing my taste, but
I
like
agree
this.
with you. There's definitely a bite to the beer, which is surprising, like you said.
Yeah.
Which I like. I like
Yeah,
the bite.
it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't expecting it from a wheat ale. Like
No. I agree. It's good. I really don't mind it. But I agree with you where I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put this on the scale.
I'll go 2.5.
I will
probably hang with you there.
really. I like this a lot. I'm going 3.7.
I'd drink another. It's just that initial bite is just
It's just
That's what I like about it. That's
Yeah.
what I really like about it.
See, for me, I mean, I agree. It is it's not very light. It's not, but to me, it's not too overly heavy either. Like, I think I could have a couple of these, like hot day outside, have a couple of cold ones. I could drink this, but it's, I don't know. There's something that I'm missing in here, I think, that just isn't completely connecting.
You're missing a good time. That's what you're missing.
Maybe that is what I'm missing. I think I'm going to go with Steve. I'll go 2.5.
all right. And this is by the Arboretum I can't even pronounce that.
Arboretum. Trail Brewing.
Arboretum Trail Brewing Company. I've never heard of them before.
Never did either.
Brewsington Road, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Brewston Road. I don't even know where Brewston Road is.
All right. Well, if you see it out and about, the 2-piece affair, you want to pick it up, try it, let us know what you think. We're going to start trying to get into these summer season beers here. Little, more light stuff, not as much, heavy, darker beers, more fruity stuff, so to speak. A couple ciders coming up on Drink of the Week. So we got a wide range of stuff to cover over here the next couple of weeks to get you guys all set up for your summer cookout drinking festivities.
Yeah, we might try Kool-Aid.
Wrap it up.
Come on, Huggies 1 week.
This week in sports,
alcoholic Huggies. There you go.
Oh.
This week in sports, I want to start off first by saying to the idiot that was talking shit to Mike Tyson on the airplane, you gotta be about the dumbest jag off ever. You cannot get that liquored up.
I was gonna say it's that liquid courage.
Yeah.
To the point where, I mean, and Mike Tyson's famous for saying, people were tough and tough on the keyboard until they get punched in the face. Well, my man got punched in the face
a couple times.
several times.
Poke a bear, keep poking the bear.
Right,
hey,
right.
That's what's gonna happen.
I don't condone violence, but
The man was home trying to get some sleep.
Hey, it's COVID times. You ain't gonna be it in my face. So,
That also.
Whatever he was drinking, stay away from it.
Yeah. But that guy. I'm not going to square. I don't like fighting Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's punch out. You want me to talk shit to Tyson in person?
you got bare minimum Mike Tyson. Just think about that.
Yeah.
You got him to take it easy on you, Mike Tyson. And still got lumped up.
How about a rule of thumb? Don't fight a person with a face tattoo.
That might be a good rule, or cauliflower ear. Those may be your two that you want to stay away from, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. USFL kicked off last week.
My brother canceled everything. He has been he's like, I'm not watching softball, not watching fishing. He's 24/7 sports. And he's like, I stopped everything. I've been waiting for football to come back. So
did he enjoy it?
He'll watch me play Madden. That's how much he loves football.
But did he enjoy it?
So the first game that they had on, we talked about last week. It was a good game to watch, right? Like, it was competitive. It was decent quarterback play in that. But as the weekend went on, and then the Ballers game Monday night,
you see the flaws.
Hey, I know Kirby Wilson's a former running backs coach for the Steelers, and now he's a head coach. But can we try throwing a forward pass? My man was coming out there just hand off. Like, this is your playbook. Run right, run left.
Well, they released their running
right.
back, so that's what they did.
Dude, you gotta throw. It's 2022. You gotta throw the ball, bro. You can't just come out there and run. Oh, we're gonna catch him off guard and just run 97 times.
They've never seen this before.
Yeah,
it's been a while since they've seen it.
The wing T.
But I think what's gonna hurt them, and I was flipping through the channels last night and caught the game on USA last night. There's nobody in the stands.
Yeah,
no fans at all.
To be in one place.
Yeah, to be in one place, and they ran a promo for $10 tickets. Kids get in free, and you got no fans.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think it's one and done? Might be too early to tell, but
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. The pay structure for the players got released this week. So if you're an active roster player, you'll be paid $45,000. $15,000 for practice squad, and $600 weekly during training camp. Players will also receive win bonuses of $850 per win and $10,000 if you win a championship. However, here's the
Is that
drawback.
10,000 per player or 10,000 for the team?
Per player. Okay. However, here's the drawback, right? Players are required to pay their own rent, while the league offers a reduced hotel price of a cost of $75 per room per day.
You're paying
the option for players to share a room.
Wow.
You're paying for hotels.
Yeah.
They're paying for hotels.
Is it the whole season or are they coming in?
No, the whole year.
Yeah, because the whole year, because they're all in one city.
They're all in Alabama. They're in Birmingham.
I mean, but like it was like that. Like, let's go home Monday through Friday and show up.
They did the bubble. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know. I think long-term stay places have better rates than $75 a day.
They did the bubble to keep costs down for the league as a whole, which
and insurance, yeah,
that's
which is
fine.
smart, very smart,
smart, right? But you're charging these guys $75 per day.
Nah.
So
they might as well just rent a place.
Like you said, I'll do what Jason do. It was like I'll play the game and I'll fly home and stay home until it's game day again.
They're not allowed to leave.
Oh, they can't leave.
Oh, okay.
No.
They're in the bubble.
They're in the bubble.
They should have done this in Texas. Where you're more football state, you may get
It's a good point.
More fans.
But you're in Birmingham,
Alabama. But you're in Alabama.
Like,
I mean, Alabama's a football state.
That's a college football state. if you ain't
but college,
they're a football state. Like they're considered up there as a football state.
Apparently not with USFL.
So I'm just real curious to see what the difference is when the XFL starts up next year. To see
this multiple thing, I don't think it's gonna hurt one or the other, and it's probably gonna be USFL.
And
yeah, XFL have NFL backing now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if they play where they play, because maybe if they play at NFL stadiums, because of that might help out too in those markets. But and XFL announced this week that they're going to be headquartered in Texas, so I'm sure you'll get a team.
At least that's the XFL. They have fans.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they do have a following. Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
USFL was what 1970s, 1980s,
1980s,
1980s.
Yeah,
so
80s.
I mean,
XFL a couple years ago they had decent attendance. I thought
yeah.
There were some teams that had great attendance,
and the games were good. Games were very competitive.
Yeah.
You gotta take that image off the TV box with the USFL player on there. They gotta do that anymore.
I don't know. I missed it.
Oh, you've never seen? I don't know. Every time I see a football player on the TV box, it's like that standard in like a USFL jersey. I don't know.
Okay.
That's that Seahawks team. I swear it's the Seahawks looking team. They're a different color now. They're like light blue and white.
I do like some of the technology stuff that they implemented, and they changed stuff up from week 1 to week 2, which is good. So that means that they're looking at what they did. They're making production changes and they're switching stuff up.
Listening, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the way that they, the very first game, that first half, they had everybody's mic hot. So you heard coaches, players, commentators, everything.
You heard
and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
They even made the switch from first half to second half, which was good. But last night, like they did some things differently with the drones and the footage and seeing it, which helped out the look of it. Like I like with extra points, they shot the drone footage from behind the goalpost, so you were looking out to the field, so you got to see snap, hold, kick, and the ball come through the uprights. It was just a different angle on it, but it looked better than what they did the previous week.
Yeah, I was gonna say the drones last week, at least the game that I watched, it was just like I don't know who they had controlling it, but it was like
nauseous
and sign and just like all right, I'm gonna get
it was very nauseous.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. But the not having fans, that's you had people for the first game because it was Birmingham. So like Pittsburgh, like there was the debate: are the Pittsburgh Maulers even a Pittsburgh sports team? And a lot of people were saying no because they're not playing in Pittsburgh. They just have the Pittsburgh name, so people aren't going to be invested in them.
I never knew that.
No.
So yeah, we'll see, but it'll just be interesting to see how the weeks go on, because yesterday it was rough just seeing bleachers, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how long this is going to work.
They said the quarterbacks and kickers were complaining that the ball were too heavy because of the microchips inside the ball for the first down marker.
And they also changed, like, the ball's not the traditional like leather ball. It's like made out of like some type of synthetic material. So the ball itself is different, which is
different material.
We were talking about it with the one game with the rain, and the ball was just slipping out, and it's because the material of the ball, like people, even with the glove, quarterbacks were wearing gloves, and it was still slipping out with the gloves. So, yeah,
could be a backup for that.
There's probably something to protect it with the chips inside the ball.
Yeah. Or maybe it has to breathe so they can read the chip too.
Yeah, so it doesn't overheat.
Yeah.
Also too.
So yeah, there's pros and cons to the technology aspect of it.
They'll be known for. I mean, they'll be known for the chicken salad incident, which was hilarious. And then a team who Pittsburgh was playing, but they were saying it in their cadence, like Blue said, "Hut, chicken salad," like trolling them on the field.
That's Todd Haley. He used to coach with Kirby Wilson. They played Tampa Bay. He was trolling them. But yeah, we'll see. The other thing I saw this week, there was a report here in one of the papers in Pittsburgh that the beer, food, pop concessions at the Pirates the last couple of years supplemented and paid for their payroll.
Yes.
So nothing didn't come out of pocket at all as far as having to pay players. This man needs to get him. We need to get him out.
And all the money he got from the league and all that stuff is basically just in his pocket.
Yeah. And that's why you put a bar in the outfield.
Yeah. That doesn't face the field.
That's why a Blue Moon is $18 and Krabby Fries is $22.50. Like,
and parking is that high too. Everything.
It's a joke, dude. I read that report and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like,
and they said that teams like the Yankees and Dodgers and all that stuff, like their executives said that they're pissed about that too, because it's revenue sharing, and since they're the top teams, they got to give up so much of their money to the smaller teams, and it's not being used competitively.
I want the business mind and know.
He ain't gonna do shit ever. I don't know what it's gonna take to get him out, if they could even force him out. I don't even know if that's even allowed, but he's never going to willfully just give up the team. He said that before, that he's in it for the long haul to give it to his family.
Give it to his daughters.
Catch him with a hot mic.
The only way. The only way.
The other news, obviously, we got the NFL draft coming up this week. So we'll talk draft next week after the first 3 rounds are completed. Don't need to get into breaking down who's going to go where or whatnot now, but I did see there were reports were that Apple was on the verge of securing the deal for the NFL Sunday ticket, which used to be with DirecTV, and it could earn the NFL around $2.5 billion annually.
That's all they're looking for, is that don't matter when it's on, they're just looking for that money.
I feel like that's better than it being on DirecTV, because at least it's not tied to a specific cable.
Yeah, but does that?
But how many people have Apple?
If Apple TV secures this deal, what are they going to charge for Apple TV for a subscription now? Like they're going to bump those rates up because you're getting the Sunday ticket now.
Right now, it's $5 a month, but
you can get Apple TV on anything.
Right, but it's just like what how many subscriptions are you willing to pay? Like I got to pay an Amazon subscription for Thursday night games, and then I got to pay an Apple subscription to watch the ticket.
Your regular cable or
plus streaming. My regular cable to watch the games. Like, so we're chopping this up, and you're fucking me 3 ways from Sunday. That's cool.
Yeah, you're triple dipping me.
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
It did before you know it. I mean, they was talking about it decades ago, but Super Bowl might be pay-per-view. No. They're not going to do it, but hey, it's a different time now.
It is. You never know.
It's a different time.
They'll never bump that because of the billions and billions and billions of
from
dollars
sponsors
they're getting from the networks for the Super Bowl rights.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think if Amazon or Apple came with billions and billions and billions of dollars that they wouldn't take it?
Guess who won't be watching the Super Bowl? I don't care if it still is in it.
I don't care either.
I'll show up to somebody else's place. You having a party? I'm there.
Buffalo Wild Wings, Dave and Buster's.
I'm there.
It's just fascinating to see how times change. And I know NFL is king, and they got the most revenue out of the four major sports professions in the States. But I'm curious to see how it bleeds over into others. We already saw it with baseball, but like NHL with the ESPN deal, and they're putting games on ESPN Plus, NBA, what's going on with them? It's just, I think the landscape is really going to change over the course of the next probably I'd say 3 to 5 years, maybe 5 to 7.
Back in my day, we only had 10 channels.
Look
at this shit.
That's possible, Kenny.
Wouldn't mind seeing that, but I mean, outside of NFL on Amazon, I'm not watching nothing on Amazon TV.
Yeah.
So like, then each year, I got to sign up before NFL season and end my subscription after NFL season. Like, I don't want to do that shit. Like,
yeah, too much work.
Yeah. Can I just watch the game? So, we'll see. It'll be interesting. Another rumor is that Pat McAfee has signed on with Amazon to do Thursday night football with Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels.
That's great.
Is he giving me Pat McAfee, or is he giving me Pat McAfee?
You're getting Pat McAfee because in addition to that, there are talks that his show will move to Amazon.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
Which sucks for me because I watch it on YouTube all the time. So I
can get a bum ass Tom Brady. I'm there.
And apparently, and from what Pat has said live on air on his show, apparently Sirius, they carry his show on Sirius XM, but they haven't talked to him at all about re-upping, and their deal's supposedly coming up soon. So, I mean, kudos to him for getting even more bags. Like, this dude is just rolling in it right now. You want to talk about like probably the greatest 2 years of life ever, what he's done for himself and everything, like unbelievable role.
Securing the bag and everything.
Yeah.
I would really enjoy a broadcast of Al Michaels, Pat McAfee, and Kirk Herbstreit.
Yes.
And if you watch his show, he's had both Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit on, and Kirk was responsible for getting Pat on the College Game Day when Pat did College Game Day. So there's a rapport with all three guys. I think Pat, from what I saw, Al Michaels wasn't real keen on Kirk Herbstreit coming in. So to me, if they're going after Pat and they get Pat's going to be the bridge guy that makes the broadcast work and gets everybody happy and on board. Donald is frozen. Somebody screen grab that and put that out there as a gift.
Donald's feeling that beer.
His Bubba Gump lip sticking out. All right, that's all I got for sports. Anybody got anything else?
Did you guys watch fan-controlled football last weekend?
I did not. I saw the highlights. I saw T.O. catch a touchdown in his first pass, but I did not tune in for it. And are they still on Twitch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still on Twitch.
Because I saw Charlie Caruso from ESPN, her and somebody else were doing a broadcast for some other site or network, and I wasn't sure if they moved off of Twitch.
Yeah, they're still on Twitch, and I think and I also saw that they were on Peacock, because I turned on Twitch on Saturday, and one of the games, it was completely digital. Like, I couldn't even watch it. So I ended up switching over to a different channel, and the Peacock channel was working. But
okay. All right, cool. Well, while Donald fixes his internet, you want to jump into One Gotta Go?
Let's do it.
Well, hopefully this week we'll get a riled up Donald once he comes back in, like we had last week. Hot mic edition.
So last week was Donald's pick for the breakfast food, even though some people on here didn't think there was enough criteria. All the fans of the show apparently thought differently because we got really good votes this week. Probably one of our higher voting weeks. And the fans say that pancakes got to go.
What?
Unanimously.
Really? Him and his friends, man.
It wasn't just him though, but
he bought up bots. Definitely bought bots. Unbelievable.
Oh, he's back.
I don't need him coming back on, giving credit, patting himself on the chest. I don't need all this. I hope his camera and mic stop working the rest of the show.
Can you still hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
We can hear you.
No,
okay.
we can't hear you. Can't hear you at all.
He's on strike.
Jay, what do you got this week? You better come hard outside of your weather topic.
I came hard. So these are a series of numbers that are very, very important. Like, could be a.
This isn't the real list.
This is the real list.
What's the real one gotta go this week?
list.
No, what's the real one gotta go this week?
This is it.
No, it's not.
This is
Do
the
you
real
know what it
list.
is? Do you know what it is?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I think
Go ahead.
It could be Super Bowls. It could be WrestleManias. But this hasn't been enough time to pass that we need to talk about it. These are Adele's albums. These are Adele's albums.
the greatest.
This is not the Emancipation of Me. I should have put the Emancipation of Adele as the title.
So wait, Adele's albums are titled 25, 19, 30, and 21?
Her
She does them
age.
for her age.
When she releases them. Beyonce couldn't think of that.
This is what we all wanted, Steve. That reaction. All of us.
You know, from Chris not wearing any branding last week to take a picture with Britt Breaker, you coming in with bullshit ass Sesame Street.
This is not-
games.
Did you say Britt Breaker? The Braun Breaker sister?
Whatever. I can't even talk right now. You got me so fired up with this. I am officially opening up to audition myself for other shows or for you to replace the current co-host that I have with this podcast.
I think it was 3 new members.
So all 4 of these got to go. I've never listened to one Adele album straight through, start to finish. All 4 of them got to go.
Man, you missing out, man.
This is overrated.
Pick one. I can tell you why you're wrong.
She's terrible. I don't care about either one of them. But your explanation is not going to get me to listen to an Adele album.
You gotta listen to it start to finish, man.
Mm-hmm.
Get
It's
that
an
story.
experience.
Go ahead, yuck it up, have your fun. You guys can have your great Adele discussion. I'm just going to sit here and not respond for the next 2 minutes of the show because you guys are unbelievable.
Okay. Maybe because recency bias, 30 is staying. 19 is what got me into it. That was awesome.
This man hasn't talked this much in 2 years of doing this show, and he's breaking in-depth.
Hey, look,
on Adele.
I was going to wear an Adele shirt too, and just pull it off right now.
Anything about can't get him to contribute on anything else to the show.
Hey,
Give me the contribute
you gotta get him to talk about what he's passionate about, man.
Adele, passionate about my English muffin. 21 got
I'm
to go.
surprised Donald didn't include English muffins on his breakfast list.
I'm kicking 21 off the list.
You just say 21.
He said 21.
Are you? Wow. 21 is top 10 album of all time.
21
Oh
started
my
that
God.
passion.
Top 10 album for what?
All time.
All
Album.
time.
All time.
All 4 in the top 10. You got
For
the
me,
Blueprint, Life After Death, 30, 25, 19, 21.
Fuck out of here. Get out of
I
here.
am.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
For me, all of them are great albums, start to finish.
Yes.
21 really started that passion from her. You know, that deep storytelling in her songs.
Long term.
I don't know any.
As good as 19 is.
I don't know you guys at all.
Long-term storytelling.
Long-term storytelling. You got single to divorce to everything in here. And
paint you a picture.
It does. But if one gotta go, because it doesn't have the passion that the other three have, I'm gonna go 19 go.
Okay.
21. 21, like I said, 21 is top 10 album of all time. It's up there. 19, like Jason, it got me into her. 30 is like rhythm and blues at his best. I'll have to say 25 got to go.
Kenny says 30 could go.
Oh, even Kenny's on the train.
I'm done for this week. Done.
Got nothing?
You might as well just fade me to black too, like Donald. Because I'm not saying shit the rest of the episode.
That's a great Metallica song. Fade to black.
He doesn't listen.
Well, I don't listen to Metallica.
Well, if you don't listen to Adele, you must not
Metallica than Adele. And
you don't know good music.
The top 10 albums of all time. You're out of your mind. All three of you need a drug test after the show. Because you're all high on something that I don't know what it is, but
I'll come back positive for COVID.
Life. That's what we're high on. Life.
We're all
the fact that I can't see Donald and just hear him is throwing me off even more. Go ahead, close the show. I'm done. I'm not saying that. I don't got a quote of the week this week. I got nothing else for you. I'm done.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, to episode 83. Before we wrap things up, reminder that our audio-only edition of the show is available on demand on all your favorite podcast platforms. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and also our new Twitch channel, twitch.tv/dumbmarkspod. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @dumbmarkspod. And support the show by telling a friend about us and purchasing our official merch at prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod. For all the links and more, visit dumbmarkspod.com. Before we start to wrap things up, I don't know if you guys saw, there was a list this week that was about the 10 worst dating cities in the country. Pittsburgh came in at number 8. No surprise.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. That sounds about right for sure.
We got Kansas City was number 1, Wichita was 2, Minneapolis 3, Detroit 4, and then Louisville 5. Just round out the top 5 for everybody. But Pittsburgh coming in at number 8 didn't surprise me one bit whatsoever.
So disappointed, Kenny. Like you instead from positive Pete to negative Ned. This ruined my day, like my weekend.
One Gotta Go has turned into One Gotta Go to what's going to piss Steve off this week.
We've all colluded.
Well, you're going to need a paragraph and a half to explain what the hell One Gotta Go is this week to the voting audience, because they're not going to know just looking at numbers.
That's why we left it off for you.
Put it out for the people.
Yeah.
And the people will vote.
Oh, they'll vote.
Adele. Highest rated voting.
Best-selling albums of all time.
No, can you prove that?
I don't know. I just made that shit.
No,
up.
you
Probably
can.
No,
you can't.
We'll
Most
talk about whatever we host the video.
Most anticipated. Adele broke the internet.
On 30 was.
Broke the internet.
Oh.
You thought Kim Kardashian's ass broke the internet? Adele broke the internet.
The fact that you put
Ooh.
Adele and Kim Kardashian's ass in the same sentence is blasphemy.
Iconic. They're both.
Negative.
No, one's better than the other, and that'll be Adele.
To go into something good from this week, me and Jason went and saw the Woodland Hills musical of Shrek. And as we all know, we posted, and I know Steve threw up a picture about it. Some people saw our ad. Thank you to all the people that liked our social media afterwards for seeing the ad. Appreciate the new follows and the likes.
Yeah, well, we just lost all those people by coming up with Adele's "One Gotta Go" discography. So thanks for killing the audience.
Nothing but praise all around for that play. It was really good.
It was good. Kids did a great job.
Yeah. Next year they're doing Adele, Lifetime.
So should we wrap this up?
Go ahead, wrap it up. Somebody wrap it up. Close the damn show. I'd rather go stand in traffic right now than listen to you guys talk about Adele's albums.
I think this one will sum up Steve, especially after this week. They say time's supposed to heal you, but I ain't done much healing.
Yes. Go easy on me, baby.
So, until next time, guys.
You're closing us with Adele lyrics? Adele lyrics?
Oh my God, you knew it.
He knew it.
I don't listen to Adele, but you knew the lyric.
Because you guys just talked about her and hyped her up for the last 10 minutes. Of course you're going to close the show with an Adele lyric. Never heard that bullshit in my life.
You absolutely heard because you do it right away.
This is what you guys have been talking about. You knew it pissed me off to close the show even more. Terrible.